All right, so it looks like I'm live. So, hey everybody, it's Roberto. So this video is something that I would normally do, edited and polished and with talking points and keeping it super concise and maybe even doing like, 10 things in 5 minutes or 20 things in 10 minutes or something like that. But I decided that I'm just going to brain dump here. I'm just going to go live. It's going to be unscripted. It's going to be unedited. It's just going to be whatever it is. And I'm going to answer some of these questions probably once and for all. Some of them I will probably never do a video polished and edited about some of these things again because I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to have a conversation because there's a lot of stuff about YouTube that people just don't understand. I'm seeing a lot of the same questions over and over, but then in other places, I'm also seeing and dealing with some trolls that you guys, you're just not aware of that. And I'm not just going to like complain and moan about that, but I'm going to say that like there are people that don't understand how YouTube works. And then because they are upset that they don't understand how it works and they're impatient with their success in it, they then kind of take that out on people that they really would love to get answers from, but instead they'd rather try and attack them or jab at them. And that's whatever. But this video is for the rest of you, for the most part. This video is to answer some of your questions and just reveal the, like, tear back the curtain, if you will, on how some of this stuff in YouTube works so that you can finally get it. And the only way I can really get through it is just to talk at the camera and brain dump what I understand and what I know, because I've been doing this for a while. And what you need to understand is before I ever got on YouTube, I already knew how to get to the top page of Google, which YouTube is a search engine as well. It's the second largest search engine in the world. It's built on the backbone of Google. So if you're struggling with YouTube, part of it might be because you never got into websites and blogging and content creation and writing articles and any of that, and never figured out the SEO metagame, pun intended, to understand how to reverse engineer that into YouTube. You also don't understand what YouTube really cares about when it's doing its ranking algorithm and its metrics. And I know that that wording might be more technical than some of you are going to be able to understand. So what I'll put it in is like this. YouTube is not a popularity contest in the exact way that you think it is. YouTube does not value your subscriber numbers and your views when it's ranking your videos as much as most of you think it is. It is not. I've proven this time and time and time again. YouTube cares about engagement, and it cares about it in a couple of specific ways, because I know some of you are tired of hearing about engagement. Here's what it means by that. The thing that disproportionately YouTube values is watch time. And to prove that point and why a lot of you don't believe me about certain things, I'm going to do something I usually don't do on these live streams. So let me find the screen that I want to share here. And I think it's this one. And then I'll navigate to where I want in analytics. All right. So here is the last like 28 days or 38 days or something. Do you see this where it says, estimated minutes watched? The estimated minutes watched in the last 28 days on my channel is equivalent to almost 2 years of time. So the amount of time that human beings have spent watching my video content this month is equivalent to almost 2 years. That is why when I do certain things, my channel ranks in a certain way. The number of views are over 250,000 views. This is not for me in terms of bragging rights. This is to make and illustrate the point of the reason that I can rank higher for certain videos in YouTube than people who have more subscribers and have more views than me on their overall videos or even on their overall channel for certain things, is because of how YouTube disproportionately values watch time. They prioritize it above everything else. So when you're doing 4-minute videos and 3-minute videos, which still does work and is still valuable on a human level, there's another game that's being played with the fact that I do long form webinars and I do live vlogs like this that go 20 and 30 minutes that a lot of people, believe it or not, actually watch. It's adding up and tacking on to those minutes, right? And then when you talk about, well, quality over quantity, while there are people who obsess and take 2 and 3 and 4 weeks to polish a really great 4 or 5 minute video, cranking out videos every day means that I'm over 500, 600 videos, which means I have more opportunities to get views, more opportunities to stack those minutes, more videos to convert to subscribers that double down on watching more often when I put out content. And then you have to remember, well, it's like, okay, Roberto, well, great. Then why do you have 50,000 subscribers and some of your videos only have 5,000 views? Well, the counterpunch to that is that I checked and about maybe 120 of my videos have over 20,000 or 30,000 views, and maybe like as many as like 30 of them have close to like 50,000 views or more. I have one with over 100,000 views, but I'll tell you about those videos with 5,000 and 2,000 and 1,000 views. Most of my content are how-to videos, which is why most of my content has a retention rate of over 60 or 70%, when the average retention rates on YouTube videos are between 25 and 35%, and less than that on entertainment videos. So that adds up to channel authority and watch time and relevance on a video too, because what do you think YouTube's gonna rank higher? A video that has more views that people stop watching 10% of the way through on average, or a video that people watched 60% of the way through on average, right? That's probably the more authoritative video, or the video that YouTube says is the more important video, or the video that should rank better. So that's the reason why. So when I do that, that's part of it. Now, as for those videos with 2,000, 3,000, and 5,000, 1,000 views, my channel is a how-to channel. Of course, Viral and PewDiePie and Tyler Oakley and this one and that one that are in the entertainment side of the game, of course they're going to have like hundreds of thousands of views with their millions of subscribers and everything like that. Their ratios are still 10 and 20% of their audience viewing their content in most cases, and sometimes as much as 30 or 50%. They still are not, in most cases, getting 100% of their viewers to watch their content. In fact, the majority of those viewers are also new people that are subscribing to them that weren't their original followers that are doubling down on the video content, and some of those are repeat watchers. So when I get those 5,000, 3,000, 1,000 view videos, it's because it's a how-to video for a very specific thing, and because I do 7 days a week of different content, just like a television network might do. Then if you're watching my YouTube how-to videos, you're probably not watching my graphic design videos, because you're probably not a graphic designer. You want to be a YouTuber, right? So why would you watch that other content from me? But you're still in my audience. You're still a subscriber. So there's a split of the market there, right? And if you're someone who's into tech and wants to know what hard drive or what laptop to buy, you might not be watching my how-to YouTube videos. You might not be watching my graphic design videos, or you might, because maybe you're a graphic designer that needs to buy a new laptop. You might not be watching my video on camera gear, because maybe you are not a photographer. So if you have a diversity of content, you are not going to have 100% of your audience watching 100% of your videos. It's not going to happen. In the same way that if you're Walmart, the people who are buying shoes might not be buying milk. It doesn't mean that Nike's doing a bad job, right? It doesn't mean that Kraft is not doing a good job selling cheese. It's just what the market demand is for the product, because the majority of people casually using YouTube are not coming from a business background or a retail background or a sales and marketing background or a content delivery or SEO or web design background, do not understand YouTube nearly as much as they think they do. They understand it as a consumer. They understand it as someone who watches videos and comments and likes and shares videos. They don't understand it. They might even understand it as someone who makes videos, but they don't understand it as someone who is in the content marketing and in the content and intellectual property game yet. That maturity and that understanding happens 2 and 3 years down the road for most people who never did it. Once they get into YouTube, or once they start wanting to build a business around YouTube, that takes time to grow into that, right? But if you're someone who's just making videos for fun, you don't know why your channel is not growing, because you may have never sold anything in your life, so you don't know how that works. You may have never built a group or a team or an audience or a community or had to win an election at school. You may have never done any of those things. You may have never been on a committee. You've never tried to get votes. So you don't necessarily understand how communities and followings and building loyalty actually works. You don't understand how repeat customers and repeat business works. You've never had to convert anybody. You're only trying to get attention. And there's a difference between that. And that's the thing that most people don't understand about YouTube. It's not just an attention game, and it's not just a popularity game in the way they think it is. Views don't matter the way you think they do. Subscribers don't matter the way that you think they do. They matter on a human level, and that's good, and you should keep track of that. But in terms of how you grow in YouTube, in terms of what it takes to be successful in YouTube, that is a deeper technical understanding of how YouTube works. If you do not understand how 50% of the things in the menu on the left for that dashboard in YouTube, how that's working, I'll show you. I'll talk to you a little bit about this. Let me do a screen share real quick. I'm going to do a screen share again real quick. We're going to talk about this, as I need you to get this. Most of you have no idea what most of these things mean or what they represent, right? And that's just real talk. I'm not being patronizing. Audience retention. So you know that sweet spot that we talk about as far as 4 minutes? This is part of where it comes through. For this month, the average view duration across, and this is including people who drop off that like were just like, oh, they're not going to sit through a 15-second ad, which nerfs your thing because it's really more than this, but most of those people will nerf your view average duration. So whatever the number is, take it with a grain of salt. Your content could be 2 to 3 times longer than this and will be fine. So don't worry about that as much, because what you'll see is I'll go here into percentage and retentions and things like that, and you'll see what that is. And these are those real numbers, right? And the numbers I can't get into are the money numbers because YouTube has policy stuff about that. But you'll see these numbers. Take these numbers with a grain of salt, but understand that the average percentage viewed of most YouTube videos is usually around 25 to 30%. So if you're in this range, you are crushing it. So don't worry about that, right? Now I'm going to show you something else. Likes and dislikes. Here's a secret that people don't know. When people thumbs down your videos, they're not hurting you. It actually all counts towards your engagement as an overall positive. In fact, YouTube will actually tell you that you are not getting enough dislikes so if you get less than the previous month. Real talk. So, you know, that's the thing. So if you want to talk about, well, are real people watching your thing or do you buy views and everything like that? These are the numbers that prove the point here. And this is just only for this month on videos. So when you have videos that are getting hundreds upon hundreds of likes and a few dislikes and everything like that, then you know real people are involved. That speaks to brands, and that's part of how they vet people out. Now, here's where things get interesting. YouTube closes out fake accounts, and then you have people who are trying to do this sub for sub nonsense, and they're going to nerf your numbers. Now, what happens is you want this number because this is your net subscriber gain. You see this number? This means I got a net of 5,000 new subscribers. 1,000 subscribers lost might look horrendous to you guys, but what I want you to keep in mind is that the majority of that are people who are trying to get sub for sub, and then I block them or ban them from the channel. That's how bad that is. But then you also have to account for, that's the course of 30 days. So what that means is that over the course of 30 days, every day I'm getting 30 people subscribing to my channel that may not need to be subscribed to my channel every 30 days. And that's where over the course of 30 days, 30, 35 people adds up to 1,000. But of the people who choose to stay, that's still about 5,000. That is a good ratio. Brick and mortar businesses would kill for that ratio, literally. So you need to understand how that works. Your demographics. Your demographics are going to tell you things about your audience and where the majority of your viewers are coming from. And in my case, that's going to be English-speaking countries because I'm an English speaker. So you end up finding out those things about your audience. And again, a lot of you have never looked into some of these things to understand, you know, what they are. And this tells you which of your videos are getting comments. You know that you're doing a good job when you see that you're getting hundreds of comments in a month. This isn't even the lifetime of the videos. This is just the last 28 days of where you stand on, you know, those videos. So the reason I'm showing you this, and then you can see where your devices come from as far as who's viewing your stuff. Mobile's becoming a big thing. You need to be optimizing your thumbnails for mobile. Look, that's like 66,000 views that came from mobile devices alone. So you guys start thinking about those things. Start thinking about how your stuff plays in HD for videos for people on television and consoles, because look at those numbers. Those numbers are a smaller percentage, but that's still a lot of human beings. Traffic sources. Remember when I talked about search earlier? I talked about search. Look at the number of people who came through YouTube search. That's all your titles, descriptions, and tags. So people being lazy on their titles, description, and tags, this is what it's costing you. It's costing you 30%, 38% potentially of your stuff. Look at this. On the suggested videos, that's SEO too. That's the tags that you might be ignoring. That's the description text that you don't want to write 150 words for, like I keep talking about, 150 to 300 words. You know, those external sources, that's things like the embeds. You know, the YouTube channels, those are recommended channels. That's still 7%. That's SEO based as well. The browse features, that's your subscribers. That's your loyal following. So that's what that percentage is. That's like 10%. The external stuff, that's websites, and that's your SEO. And so is like, you know, so those numbers of social media and stuff is smaller than you imagine. You see that the overwhelming majority of this is based in SEO. It's based in the YouTube search, the suggested videos, the recommended YouTube channels. That's the game. It's the SEO. It's the thing that you guys are, in a lot of cases, you're sleeping on, you're slacking on. You don't want to understand that you have to reverse engineer what a blog post is in a YouTube video with regard to your titles, your descriptions, your tags, and being really smart about that and not putting in just 1 or 2 words, but going long tail, figuring out what they're going to plug into a YouTube search and reverse engineering that. You know, shares matter. You guys are worried about likes and views and subscribers. That's not going to get you more subscribers and more views and more watch time. What's going to get you more watch time is when people share that video because they want to care about a video, not because you have 50,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. They care about it because their mom shared it on Facebook, their girlfriend or boyfriend shared it on Facebook or Twitter. That's what they care about. So you need those shares. You need to be asking people who are your viewers and your fans to be sharing your videos. You need to be asking people in your network to be sharing your videos. So these are the things, you know, that matter. Understanding who's watching your videos and what these playback locations, where are they watching their videos? It's like, okay, are they watching it on websites or apps? Are they watching it on the YouTube channel page? Or are they watching on the watch page? So the majority of my people are watching it directly, natively in YouTube. So I don't have to worry as much about those external sites that are linking, you know, to my stuff. So this, I hope, puts it into context for you, and you can see now why these things matter. You know, if you're wondering about whether YouTube info cards and annotations work, they work because, like, you know, hundreds of clicks and views and so on to these things. And some of these things are to other videos. Some of these things are conversions to other special things. You know, like the t-shirts or this thing or that thing. So again, those things matter. Look at those click-through rates. 16%, 14%, 8%, 9%. If you're never coming from the marketing and advertising world, let me put that into context for you. People who pay for advertising get 2% click-through rates. 2% most of the time. You saw those numbers. You're seeing 18 and 25. And so if you don't think that these things matter, this is why they matter. And this is where most of you are not being successful in YouTube. And it's not to beat you up. It's that understand that if you don't know marketing, if you don't know e-commerce, if you don't know SEO, if you've never been in retail and you've never done that hustle, if you've never started a business, then it's going to be hard for you to just go into YouTube and think that you're going to be successful in 3 months, 6 months, or even a year. It is a long game of a lot of things you need to learn about the YouTube platform, about YouTube settings, about the advanced branding options, about, most of you don't know that YouTube has channel tags where you can actually categorize your entire channel by things that people would search for in the box so that your channel can show up in a search result as a recommended thing. And that shows up in the right-hand bar of other people's channels as a recommended channel, that there's a game to that too. And it's all search engine optimization. It is all of that because YouTube is a giant search engine. It's not a popularity contest. It is raw data. It is raw data that says if you're watching this, it matters. Not if you watch this in terms of views. How much time? How much time? Views don't matter. Not raw view numbers. View counts do not matter. watch time matters because the amount of hours that a human being pays attention to something is hours that they've traded that they could have monetized and leveraged and they never get back. Time is the thing you never get back. You can make up money that was spent. You can do a lot of things. You can rebuild things that are broken. You can never get back time. So websites, it's all about how do I get on the first page of Google? Are more people sitting on your website for more than 2 minutes at a time? YouTube videos help with that. So that's how that game works. And that's why people embed their videos on their website to increase their chances of ranking in Google search engine. And it's the same thing on video content, that YouTube doesn't just also value how long someone's watching your video, but if your video is in a playlist that leads them staying on YouTube longer, or even if it's a playlist that's not your videos, but other people's videos, this is a growth hack. If your channel gets people to watch other people's YouTube videos longer as well, you get credit for that in YouTube's ranking algorithm in terms of how long their overall session watch time was, because YouTube sees you as a gateway to giving them more of someone's time. Most of you don't know that. So actually promoting your friend's channel and doing collaborations, there's more to it than just getting and leveraging their audience. It's leveraging more watch time in the YouTube session, and that's a big ranking thing. And again, a lot of this is going to be over some of your heads, and I'm sorry that you're going to have to take some time and wrap your head around this and learn it, but this is where you're losing the game in YouTube and don't understand it and think that it's all views and subscribers. And some of you even mistakenly think that you can buy your way to the top. And I already showed you, YouTube is closing out fake accounts or things that IDs. And I report spammers and trolls all the time. And those accounts are probably getting closed. And I know other people doing it. So anything that's fake in YouTube, and remember, no one gets away with this. The Instagram purge hit celebrities and small people alike. No one gets away with buying fake views and fake followers. Nobody. So don't think that that game is being played and that people are getting away with it. And don't think that if you see somebody with this many views and this many subscribers, and that's always the case, because I already explained how that game works, and it depends on the channel. Again, not everyone is in entertainment. Not everyone's Tyler Oakley. Not everybody's PewDiePie. You can't judge an education YouTube channel or a photography vlog or a family vlogger's YouTube channel by what a gamer is doing or what a comedian is doing or what a love guru is doing. You can't judge one YouTube channel by the success of another. And I'll prove another point here. Gary Vaynerchuk, million followers in Twitter, one of my favorite marketing people in the world, 100,000 plus subscribers in YouTube. He has plenty of videos, if you go back through his channel, that have 2,000 views, 4,000 views, 3,000 views. Why is that if he has such a big audience? It's simple. Those particular videos were only catering to a small portion or segment of his audience. If you have a channel where you have an 80% male audience and you decide to do a video that's just for the ladies, how much of your audience, being 80% of it is male, is going to probably watch? Probably not even 100% of your female audience. So that video is not going to necessarily do as many views as the thing that caters to the majority of your audience, right? So that's only logic. So the thing is, not every video is going to knock it out of the park, and not every video needs to. Your video should be tied to what your end game and your marketing goals and your marketing objectives are, and that's the real win in YouTube. The point is not to make money on YouTube per se. It's to make money with YouTube or through YouTube. I had a video that did $5,000 and not in AdSense. It did $5,000 because it brought $5,000 worth of client business. That's the game. It's not about that for the monetization part. Now, for those of you who are still watching at this point, and if you're YouTube gamers, I'm going to drop some knowledge on you, but it's probably going to hurt some people's feelings. But YouTube gaming, if you're not completely original, or you're not very strategic, or you don't have marketing savvy, or you've never worked a retail job in your life, the odds are 90% that you're not going to be a successful YouTube gamer, and you're never going to gain real traction, and you're not going to grow an audience beyond a cap of 5,000 subscribers. And that might sound very harsh, but I'm going to explain why. YouTube gaming is the most disproportionately saturated video content platform market in YouTube in terms of audience segmentation. And the worst part of that is because you could go saturated on education, go saturated on people talking about YouTube. You could do any of that and it still wouldn't matter, because most of those people either have a different personality that they're leveraging, different information that they're leveraging, a niche, or they have some unique selling proposition, or they at least are a different character or have a different culture. There's some unique value in what they're doing. If you do a Let's Play video, there's nothing to differentiate you from anyone else doing a Let's Play video. There's no reason to watch your video as a new YouTube gamer instead of an established person like Peanut Butter Gamer or PewDiePie or Smosh Games or Game Theorist or whoever. There's no reason, unless you have other content that people liked and now will watch your Let's Play videos. There's no reason for that. And if you're only just going to do reviews, there's no reason to watch yours versus somebody else's. There has to be a unique thing there. So if you're a YouTube gamer and you haven't come up with a unique show and a unique short format, or if you're not doing Let's Play videos and you haven't figured out a way to leverage that into your own storytelling and make up characters and do commentary or do an interesting short series out of it, you're not going to win in YouTube. You're not going to grow to the levels of PewDiePie and these other people. It's just not going to happen, because there is no reason for someone to watch your videos instead of a more established person. The reason that I can get people in a saturated market like Photoshop tutorials or YouTube advice or social media to watch my content is because I do it differently than every other person who's already doing it. And some of my advice, even if it's the same, is given in a either shorter form, a longer form, or I get straight to the point, or they like my personality and my attitude or my speech patterns or my cadence or my personality, or they value the fact that they're seeing somebody new in that space and that is appealing to them. But understand your own market. If you're a gamer, understand your own market, understand the weaknesses of your market, understand that it's an attention grab and that you're probably not going to win there. So I'm not saying quit YouTube. I'm saying that if your goal was to be a YouTube famous or be a big gamer, then yeah, maybe you quit YouTube. But if your goal is just to share something you love and be unique and different and interesting, and this is for anybody, regardless of whether you're a gamer, if your goal is to be unique and different and interesting and share your voice on something that didn't exist 10 years ago, have at it. God bless, and do it. And do it because you love it. Create awesome things that you want to put out there, share it with the world. I will always encourage that. But if you are going into this with the wrong intentions, and be self-aware of whether you're doing this for vanity, you're doing this as a business, or you're doing this to help other people, or some combination of those things. Understand what your intentions are, understand what your end game is, align everything to that. Align everything to that, because that's how people become successful, not just in YouTube, but in anything. If your actions line up to your intentions and you're executing consistently and you have something unique to offer, or at least you're addressing the needs of a unique market, then you can win, and you can more than likely win. If your hustle is strong and you are good enough at what you do, you will be successful eventually at that thing if you do not quit. The majority of people on YouTube quit within 3 to 6 months to a year. The majority of people that you see that are big on YouTube, especially if they were in the nerd fighter community with Hank and John Green back in 2008 or in the revival period of 2011, means that they've been at this for 4 years or 6 years or 7 years now. And that is why they're successful, because they stuck around and they didn't quit, because most of them, it took them 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers. And then it took another 2 to get from 1,000 to 10. And then after that, they had the big leap after like another 2 to 100,000. And that's what happens, is momentum and consistency and staying around. You'll also notice that the overwhelming majority of people who have 100,000 plus subscribers usually have more than 300 videos. 300 videos, if they were doing only one video a week, means that they stuck around for like 3 or 4 years. And that's assuming that they kept up all of their videos. And so that means that people could rely on them to stick around and be consistent. That's what gets subscribers. No one wants to subscribe to somebody who's only been around 2 or 3 months, because they don't know if you're going to stick with this or not. And they don't want to make that commitment. They don't want to make that commitment. If you've never dated or been in a relationship, or you've never hired or been on a job, you understand that. Would you want to go all out and put yourself on the line for a job that you knew was going to fire you in 3 months or 6 months? Are you going to make that investment? Are you going to give 110% there, or are you going to phone it in? Right? If you know a relationship is only going to last 2 or 3 weeks, and then that person's going to quit because they're bored and they moved on to something else, how much of yourself are you going to put out there and give? So understand that if you don't have subscribers, you haven't earned the relationship with the subscribers yet. And that's just the reality, and that's just what the game is. The reality is that the majority of people are not going to put in the work that it takes to build a relationship with an audience, be consistent, listen to them, respond to most of their comments, give their subscribers what they're asking for, reveal things that they're asking for, entertain in the way that they might like, understand their audience, empathize. Most people are just not going to do that, because the reality is that the majority of people are in social media or YouTube or even in business for themselves. And eventually that's going to be something that people see through and they're going to lose. You guys are live and are viewing me, and you have stuck with me because I've been giving you real talk. I haven't been sugarcoating anything. There's no editing here. And you can see that I'm being 110% real, even though I'm tired and it's 1:30 in the morning and I really should be editing the rest of the videos that do need to release. And I should be doing a lot of other things right now. I'm taking the time to break this down with you. I'm taking the time to even address my haters and dispel any of the myths and any of the criticism they have and explain how all this stuff really works. I've went through trouble of showing the back end and the panel of YouTube because I want there to be no doubt that what I'm talking about here is how it actually works and what is going to help you wrap your head around this or understand whether this is for you to do or not, or what you might need to change or how you might need to pivot, because the majority of people don't get it. And the reason the majority of people don't get it, and we know that, is because YouTube put out a report that said that 60% of the videos that are uploaded to YouTube in their entire lifetime never, and I mean never, ever get more than 500 views. So those of you who are getting discouraged and you're quitting because, well, my video only got 1,000 views, my video only got 1,000 views. When you're seeing those 1,000 views, you need to take that as a win, because you just crushed 60% of the content on YouTube. If you have a video with 1,000 views, congratulations. You got double what 60% of the videos on YouTube, the entire YouTube platform, have ever gotten in their lifetime. That's huge. That is huge. That is a big win, and you should pat yourself on the back for that, and then just look at, I didn't do anything wrong. How do I scale? Do not look at things as a failure. Look at them as look at them as a growth opportunity. Look at them as a learning opportunity. Look at them as the opportunity to develop and build up your cadence and figure out, great, I figured out how to get 1,000. Now that I know how to get 1,000, it means that I'm halfway to figuring out how to get 2,000. I'm a tenth of the way to figure out how to get 10,000, right? So Rome wasn't built in a day. It's like, if you figured out that, it's like, great, if you were running track and you're like, I finally was able to run a mile in under 10 minutes. It's like, it's not a 5-minute mile, but it's like, I now know how to run a mile in under 10 minutes. And then in a couple of weeks, if you can run a mile in under 8 minutes, that's huge progress. You're still not doing a 6 or 5-minute mile, but you're still faster than you were. That's a win. That's the game. The game is not getting first place, second place, third place. You're only in competition with yourself. So the race is just to get better. The race is just to get better. That's all it is. For me, part of that is I figured out how to get out daily YouTube content. The next phase, and I don't know when this would happen or if this would happen, but it'd be interesting to figure out how to consistently, for 2 or 3 months, figure out how to do 2 videos a day, figure out what workflow allows me to not compromise anything on the business side, anything in my personal relationships, anything with my health. A win for me would be figuring out, what does sustainable 2 days, 2 videos a day content look like for 3 months, and would that work? Knowing that would be a win for me. Doing, in a year, in the last 10 months, according to my count, I've already done over 360 videos in the last 10 months. I've already beat the goal of 365 videos in a year. I've already beat that goal of the equivalent of daily video content. And it's only if I'm counting YouTube, because if I count the other video platforms I'm in, I've crushed that, even for unique content to those platforms, like Blab and like Periscope and Meerkat and even Instagram video and Twitter video. I've crushed that. So if I go by that measure, then it means I've put out like 600 videos probably for the year if I did the count, right? So the thing is, it's look for the wins that matter. And the wins that matter aren't even, a lot of it's, yes, it's the body of work, but it's the quality of engagements, it's the quality of relationships, it's looking for the ROI value, and it's looking for things like the watch time, the number of shares, the number of comments, the number of engagements, the number of those people who then subscribe to your email list if you have one of those. It's aligning the execution of what you're doing in YouTube to the business and personal goals that you have. And those should not be vanity goals in terms of subscriber numbers or view counts, but they should translate to real value. It should translate to how are you making more money if you're doing the business side of things and monetizing, or if you're positioning for sponsorship, did you grow the right audience and the right demographics that matter to that? Or if you're trying to leverage yourself as an influencer, an expert, are you getting the feedback and the comments that represent that and show that people do take you seriously as an authority? So it's those things that matter. And that's what I'm trying to help you understand, is that YouTube is built on a giant search engine. YouTube is a great platform for marketing. YouTube is a platform that you can monetize and grow a business around, or use it as leverage for your existing business. Or you can use it as a platform to build your personal brand and leverage your personality at scale in a way that's both push and pull. It can create qualified leads for your business or for your email list if you're a marketer. Or if you're an entertainer, it can help you scale your personal brand and reach the audience that you want, but then qualify that with demographics that then gets you traditional media outlet leverage, because you're able to show data and proof of your authority, and that you can grow an audience and that you can deliver and that people will respond to you. There are people, as far as film producers, look, Freddie Wong of Rocket Jump started in YouTube doing video shorts once a week. He came out of film school doing that. He leveraged his real world authority as a gamer and the winner of Guitar Hero to then get an audience. He leveraged that audience into getting positioning to do video game high school as long form content in YouTube, that he was then able to sell the rights to Netflix to license it, and then DVD sales. And now he's on to owning his own media company. And it all started back in 2012. So this was only 3-4 years in. He took doing weekly videos in YouTube, ended up building a business around it in YouTube itself, scaling that business into a traditional film company that has worked with bands and done music videos for MTV and commercials for Taco Bell and McDonald's. So understand what the win is there, and understand like what that potential represents. Understand that people like, Steve Dotto and Amy Schmittauer and Tim Schmoyer have built businesses around YouTube and been successful and scaled businesses to 6 figures out of this platform by not worrying about subscribers and views, but by worrying about the metrics that matter and align to their business goals and to what their intentions are and what the needs of their audience are and who they're serving and who they're creating value for. So this was all, again, super long-winded. This was a big thing. It was live, uncut, unedited, and it was me showing you even some of the back-end panel stuff and showing you how the system really works. So the next time you think that there is like stuff going on behind the curtain, you now know what all that stuff looks like. Now you know that you can't cheat YouTube, you can't game the system, and it's not a popularity contest, that rankings are not based on subscribers and views, but on watch time and on engagement metrics and on conversion metrics. You now know that it's that. You now know that you have to leverage the attention graph, the interest graph, and the engagement graph. And you now know what that looks like translated to YouTube. You know that the attention graph is based on what those views are based around in terms of watch time. You know that the interest graph is based on where is that funnel coming from in terms of search and what terms were searched on, which leads back to your SEO and your titles and descriptions and tags. And then you know the engagement graph is the combination of watch time, shares, because human beings care about what the people in their life shared. They cared about what their boyfriend, their mom, their dad, their kid shared in Facebook and Twitter or on Google Plus, not how many subscribers or views that YouTuber has. They cared that the person that they cared about valued this content. You know that you clicked on things because your best friend or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your wife or your husband shared them in Facebook with you. You know that's why you clicked on stuff. You know that's why you watched it. You know that a person you had a relationship with, a business partner, a friend, a coworker shared something. You know you watched it because of that. It is not because this person had an audience that was 50,000, 100,000, 10,000. It was because someone you know vouched for the fact that this is something you need to see. So that matters to YouTube. Likes are good. Dislikes, still good. It's engagement to YouTube. They value thumbs up and thumbs down exactly the same way. They value comments even more. If a thumbs down and a thumbs up counts as 1 point, a comment counts as 6 points. A share counts for about 4 points. Watching a video for over 35, 40% of the video would count as 10 points. Watching a video 90% through would count as 20 points. And these are not literal translations. They're approximations that just understand what the ranking value really is. So that's what it is. That's what I have to say about it. Those are some of those back-end secrets of YouTube. And if you want like I'll do some quick lightning round stuff for those of you still watching for the business and money side before I have to recharge the laptop here and move it from where I'm at because I'm running out of time. But what I will say about that is from the business and monetization standpoint, content quality matters, but quantity matters disproportionately when you're talking about revenue, because every video that you put out is a piece of monetizable content, either to leverage for your marketing, your affiliate list conversion to a sale of a product, or affiliate marketing or AdSense revenue. So if your goal is to make money on YouTube, then if you've ever done retail, that selling more products makes you more money. The more products that are in the stockroom or in the shelf, the more money that translates to, right? If the shelf is empty or sparse or there's nothing there, you can't sell and you can't make money. So when you think about it from that standpoint, if you're wondering, well, how does PewDiePie make all that money? Yeah, it's all the views and it's all that, but it wouldn't matter and he wouldn't be able to do that many views and that amount of money if it wasn't that he had thousands upon thousands of videos. So that's the game there. The same thing for MKBHD. Marcus has a ton of content, right? So that means that he's going to get more views, more funnels, more subscribers, more this, which is leverage for more deals and sponsorship, but then also more AdSense revenue. So is inventory. There is an inventory. Quantity does matter. So instead of spending 1 hour on one video, if you can figure out how to spend 15 minutes on one video and get 4 videos out to ratio of 1, it is probably going to be better for you in the long term. And then when you do spend an hour to put a video out, there are more videos that lead people to want to get to that one really great video. So you have more opportunities to scale that. So that's what I would say about those things from the business side. And that's why I would say that the quant and the qual game both matter. So it's not quantity or quantity. It is both. And that is why, and I've explained it now, and I've explained it in real numbers. The reality becomes that if you have 2,000 videos in YouTube and they were only making you $1 per month per video, that's $2,000. That is $24,000 a year in your sleep. If that was the only way you were making money off YouTube, and AdSense is a terrible way to make money off of YouTube. You should be leveraging AdSense. You should be leveraging affiliate marketing. You should be leveraging direct sales of your own products and or services. You should be using it for funnels for referral. You should be building a business outside of YouTube and then generating leads for that, growing a mailing list, yada, yada, all those boring things that the kids don't care about that actually do matter in the long run. So those are my thoughts. Those are the YouTube secrets. And I'm sorry if I don't have the energy and the enthusiasm, because guess what? It is 1:39 in the morning right now. And it's probably better that I don't do brain dumps at 1:39 in the morning. But if I didn't do it tonight, the reality is this video would probably never get made. I'd probably never do this video if I didn't do it while I was in the mood to do it just now, prepped off of dealing with some trolling stuff where I'm like, these people just don't get it. And I'd like, it's one of those things where it's like, are they trolls or do they really just not get it? Or is it both? And so for those of you who do want to get it more than the trolls, I wanted this video for more of you who just are not getting it and you're struggling and you're getting discouraged. This is real talk. This is how it really works. And again, this is me just putting it out there, and this is me just being real with you. And this is a brain dump at 1:30 in the morning, not like my most energetic, hyped up, stellar performance of what my mood is when I'm actually awake. And when these lights are not as harsh or not hurting me as badly. But that's what it is. It's still quality information in the sense that this is how it does work. And I showed you the back end, and I show you that, that is the real value here. The real value is how this aligns to the back end of YouTube search from Google's perspective, who owns YouTube. And the back end of YouTube is all of this search stuff that people just don't understand, because if you've never been a blogger, if you've never been a content marketer, if you've never done PPC, if you've never done advertising, if you've never run a business, you just don't have the background to where this intuitively automatically makes sense to you the way it did to me when I got started. My advantage in YouTube 2 years ago and why I grew a following in 2 years that most people haven't done in 4 years or 6 years was because one, I was giving information that my audience wanted and in a way that they weren't getting it before and in a quality that they weren't getting it before over time eventually. And then I also understood how YouTube translated to Google search, where I'd already been successful at getting like 40,000 people a month in traffic to my blog. I'd already done that first. So I already was a successful blogger for years and a successful web designer before I ever came to YouTube on a regular basis. And I leveraged that knowledge to be able to say, I understand the system. So now I'm going to do things that make sense to human beings while also leveraging the system. And then I'm going to get more reach. And for me, the goal was if I do that, then more people who need this information can find it easily. And for me, that was what the game was. And it's a fun game to me because I'm a big old nerd and I like that stuff. And so for me, it wasn't a hassle to learn all these growth hacks. And that's why I've been able for YouTube stuff specifically to teach you guys. I've been able to put out like 70 videos of content about this stuff because I could do 500 more videos about YouTube growth hacks and not cover everything that I've learned. So I think I just froze there. But if I did just freeze, what I'll do is I'll repeat. I could put out 500 videos on YouTube growth hacks and it wouldn't be everything that I learned. But anyway, that's it for this video. I think I'm freezing up. I think I'm out of time. But thank you guys for tuning in live. Again, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. I think I answered most of them here finally once and for all. But anyway, that's it. You guys try and actually get some rest, recharge the laptop. But remember, create something awesome today. Or is it tonight? Or is it tomorrow? Well, I guess I'll figure it out when I actually get some rest, right?